Happy Valentine's Day and good morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mackenzie Lake here with a look at our full Friday forecast. So rain chances holding pretty steady around 50 to 60% for the first half of the morning. Just expect to run into some sort of scattered shower activity very early on, but rainfall amounts minimal expected for the first few hours here, and then rain chances diminishing down to about 20% by the middle of the day and then down to 0% by the afternoon. So let's go ahead and get into our forecast here. We had that impressive storm system over the last 36 hours. Here's the rainfall totals I got to pull up. Atascadero over 3.5 inches, over 3 inches in San Luis Obispo. Really impressive numbers even here in Santa Barbara, Santa Maria. But what's most important about this storm system, a little storm recap here. Well, not only the amount of rainfall that fell within a short period of time, but a very long line of intense thunderstorms developed and crossed over the area. And we had multiple reports of very damaging winds. So here's a look at the time-lapse look at yesterday, again at when some of the most active weather was occurring. So right around 1 p.m. you can take a look here. In Visalia, we had a big long line of thunderstorms develop all the way down into Santa Maria. Well, that's what we call, as in meteorological terms, a squall line. That just means a long line of thunderstorms, but that was about 200 miles of thunderstorm development, and these conditions were deteriorating rapidly. We got reports in Santa Maria with Doppler radar, with live storm tracker radar of brief heavy periods of downpours. We saw wind gust reports upwards of 50 miles an hour, knocking over patio furniture. These were really intense storms. You can see how it did cross over Santa Barbara. We got some brief periods of downpours as well, but then that squall line really kind of developed back up again by the time it made it over LA County. So that's why we saw those significant conditions down there as well. So luckily for us, today is just the calm after the storm. So we're picking up on a little bit of some remnants moisture-wise, but expecting no major impacts today. Take a look here. We have high pressure that's going to be shooting into the central coast, and that means warm and dry conditions for the extended. We do have a couple of watches and warnings to get through, though. We still have very hazardous marine conditions. So all beaches are underneath a high surf advisory. Those waves here in Santa Barbara could be upwards of 8 feet, and then we're expecting that biggest impact in areas for the west-facing beaches where local sets could be upwards of 20 feet. Very, very impressive waves there. That'll be allowed to drop off into Saturday afternoon. We also have a wind advisory starting at 6 p.m. this evening, lasting through very early Saturday morning, but pretty minimal impacts expected there. Winds around 50 miles an hour, mainly in wind-prone areas. But here's a look. It's Valentine's Day. Mother Nature showed off very early this morning. It's a pretty short time lapse here, but this is out at our Santa Barbara Yacht Club camera. We had those pinks, we had those purples out there. Send in a picture. I'd love to broadcast it here at News Channel 12. And take a look as we head through the afternoon hours. We're warming back up into the 60s for the day. It's pretty pleasant for the south-facing beaches, but you'll likely want to grab that extra layer if you're heading out very early on or very late at night. Here's a look at our forecast for each microclimate here. So warming back up into 50s and 60s, so you might want to grab an extra layer if you're heading out in Santa Maria or Orchid, only making it into the upper 50s there. Another thing to keep an eye out for if you're heading out late at night, I think as soon as the sun starts to set, we'll have more cloud coverage building in. Mainly in our northern communities, we'll have that marine layer building in, and we'll have fog development along the coastline. So visibility could be a problem. And again, as soon as the sun sets, those temperatures fall pretty quickly as well. We're dropping back down into the 30s and 40s, but very stagnant weather ahead of us. We're on cruise control weather-wise, with those temperatures warming beautifully just in time for the weekend. Have a good one.